Good morning, everyone. Today we have Monday, June 30th. June was definitely a rock and roll month. Uh, Seasonal focus says the tree bends with ripened fruit. The morning focus is the angel of life. And the opening says meditate while touching a living plant, bush, tree, or pet. Exchange love with this being. I got a fluffy gray cat on the floor. Meditation. There is a wholeness of my being that I have come to know. My life is the sum of my body, mind, and spirit, and more. For I am immersed in a cosmic ocean of life which connects my life with all, and I am all. Today I will bring the spirit of connectedness to my, oh my God, I've got to go to TSA and sign up for TSA pre-check. And I've got a meeting this morning at 11 with a very, very extraordinary and powerful healer that I'm very excited about. His name is Ken Lloyd. He speaks so many different frequencies of light language. So I'm doing a session with him. I'm very excited about that. And then I have new staff that I'm onboarding. So I'm very excited about that. So I'm going to be connected to all of it. And my feelings are of being very, very excited about life and everything that's happening. And I got a new car, and we just had one of the new staff members, Valerie, join us, and we're very excited to have her here. And all right, so now I'm going to read the section for today from my book, the beautiful book I channeled with Mary Magdalene back in 21 that's called Channeling Magdalene, A Year of Love. And today we are on lesson 181. And here are Magdalene's magnificent words. So the lesson says, the Course in Miracles lesson says, I trust my brothers who are one with me. Magdalene's gentle message. Greetings, beloveds. Beloveds, understand that having the mind of God and the will of God and the heart of God, as was our original creation, we are bestowed with the ability to create the very reality that we live within. When we focus upon the sins of another's, when we say this person has done this wrong, this person has caused this harm, I have done this wrong, I have caused this harm. This is not the way that it should be. When we make these determinations, we begin to construct a reality around us in which everything seems to be wrong. We lose conscious contact with the will of God. We become immersed in a reality within a world, within a consciousness that lies to us. It says this has betrayed us. Our bodies betray us. Our thoughts betray us. Our friends and family betray us. For we have forgotten the consciousness that we are one with God in all circumstances. In our forgetfulness, we perceive this in another, that they too are the ones who have sinned. We look for what is wrong with people. We look for what is wrong in circumstances. Rather than looking to see the goodness, rather than looking to see the light, we look for the dark. It is much like one who walks into a room and needs to start adjusting all of the paintings that do not seem to be in perfect alignment and perfect symmetry. But beloveds, understand that you exist within the perfect symmetry of light and love that God is, each created as this magnificent, magnificent expression of divine love and divine light that only you could be. What is being asked is to trust in every being that comes into your life, every interaction that you have, every time that you yourself are asked to bring forth the truth of you, that you can bring forth the truth of another and see them for the God and the Christ that they are, that walks now upon this earth. You're being asked to look at what is right within another rather than what is wrong. You're being asked to look at what is light within another rather than what is dark. You're being asked to perceive sinlessness, to perceive perfection, to perceive the glory and the countenance of God, which is only love. Whatever it is that you focus upon, you will imbue with all of your creativity. You will imbue with the very essence of you. The very essence of you is a vibration and is a frequency that brings forth manifestation. When you focus upon the light, you will manifest the light. When you focus upon the dark, you will manifest the dark. Allow yourself, beloveds, to bring your alignment, to bring your consciousness, to focus only upon that which will engender and which will create more love. Take a particular circumstance that you have in your life in which you feel fear and look straight into the eyes of fear and say, how can I find the love in the very thing that I fear? You are being asked, beloveds, to face your fears, for the fears are not real. And as you look upon them, and as you can apply love to them, and as you can apply light to them, you will come to see that these fears are but phantoms, part of the illusory reality that you have created. And you will come to see that that as you open your heart to the world, there is nothing to fear, and there is only love to give and to be received. And truly, when you give love to another, beloveds, you are receiving it at the same time. And when you give fear, when you give anger, and when you give anguish, and when you give turmoil, you cannot help but receive that in return. So when you can trust yourself, and when you can trust your beloveds, when you can trust your brothers and your sisters, that they too are on the same journey as you, that they too are making their way back to love, that they are making their way back to the light, you can say, "Come, take my hand, and let us walk this path together. Let our hearts be opened wide to one another. Let this journey be of glad tidings. Let it be of love, and let it be of peace." And then as you take hands, and you take hands with many others, it is in that joining that there is strength, and there is a fortitude that occurs just by the sheer joining of your wills that live in concert and live in harmony with the peace and the truth and the love of God. There is such strength in these numbers, beloveds. So find something that angers you today. Find something that you fear. For understand that fear is only the foundation, and anger can be the coating of these illusions. So find what angers you. Look for the fear that lives underneath it. And with grace, offer to look for the love within that truly exists in the circumstance. Look for the lessons that is meant for you, and then take up arms with those who you have feared and say, "I have only love to give. I have only love to offer. I only want love in return." And let that be your credo. Let that be what it is that you yourself are determined to experience as love and only love. For that is the truth of you, beloveds, and we are one. When you come to know, and when you come to have enough conviction, you will trust that you and your brother are indeed one. There is no sin, there is no affliction, there is no punishment that is necessary, there is no judgment that is needed. You are not judged, and neither are they. So lay down these weapons of judgment, and of cursing, and of gossiping, and of being mean to each other. Be kind, beloveds, and understand that in you being kind to another, you are ultimately being kind to yourself. And God has only ever been kindness and love, and that is the truth of you as well. All blessings upon you, beloveds, now and always. We shall speak with you again. Beloveds, just because a pathway is presented to you does not necessarily mean that it is one that you are meant to take. And on the contrary, the pathways that you do take are indeed the ones that you are meant to. It seems contradictory, but yet it is all part of this grand design. Understand that when you make a choice, it is something that you are indeed meant to experience. This choice may be for light or this choice may be for darkness, but eventually you will find your way back to truth, for that is what will always prevail. And you may consider lying to yourself. You may consider fooling yourself. You may consider being in denial. You may consider saying, "I refuse to look at this." But eventually, what will happen for you, beloved, is much like a beach ball that cannot be kept underwater. It will surface. And in the surfacing, beloveds, we are asking you to take a look and say, "This is something that I have allowed a lot of anger to be reconciled around." But what lies deeply underneath the anger is actually fear. And the fear is what is going to lead you back to the love and to the truth. If you understood the machinations of how it is all intricately connected with one another, beloveds, you would allow yourselves to begin to relax and stop worrying about all things. Because even if you make a choice and you say, "Ah, I have made a choice for darkness, I am indulging," it will eventually lead you back to truth, and it will eventually lead you back to light. And there may be some pain and consternation and anger and fear that will accompany you. but it is what will cause you to course correct. You cannot stay in fear forever. You cannot stay in anger or resentment forever. There will come a day when you will make the decision that you will no longer gossip about another, for what they do is show you a mirror of some aspect of self with which you have been in denial. And you will say, let me take a look at what it is that I have not wanted to see. Let me take a look at what it is that I have not wanted to love. I have always said that I am a victim of this thing that someone has said to me. But beloveds, have you ever been willing to look and see, when have you done that to another? For the only way that anyone or any circumstance comes within the frequency of your universe is that there is some connection. There is some way in which you have participated with it. And then you disowned it. And now it is the reckoning. And it is time for you to say, this very thing that I have judged, this very action this person has taken, that I have decried and said, guilty. Beloveds, the guilt begins within. What it is that you have held yourself to be innocent of. We ask you to take yet another look. We ask you with full veracity, with eyes wide open. And beloveds, if you cannot do this yourself, you could reach out to a friend and say, have you ever seen me do this? Have you ever felt that I am capable of that? You could even ask them if they have a message for you. Beloveds, we will take this a step further. We ask you to find a creature, whether it's an animal. We ask you to find a tree or a plant and engage in communion and conversation with them and ask them if they have a message for you. Trees are particularly adept at being able to do this, for they carry such ancient wisdom, for they are connected for billions of years. If you think about what has been alive on just Gaia herself and how everything is connected, if you allow yourself to walk up to a tree, find a tree that you have affinity with, and lay your palms against the bark and ask and begin to have a conversation. Are you a boy tree or a girl tree? Are you a good witch or a bad witch? So Anna Grace's mind is filled with memories of movies that she has watched that have shaped her life, as they have done for all of you. But beloveds, begin the journey, the inquiry to know the truth of things. And if you come with a heart that is open to purity, truth, light, and veracity, you will indeed find it, and it will help you tremendously. So look for something that you fear, a relationship that you fear, and ask a tree, why do I fear this person? What is it about this person that sends me on a spiral? So Hannah Grace had the experience of allowing herself to lie in bed and to feel the deepest sense of loneliness that she had ever felt. And then the image of her father, who has crossed over from this physical incarnation, came to mind. And then she allowed herself to feel his loneliness and abandonment. And then suddenly the image of her grandmother came to her, and she allowed herself to feel the image of her loneliness and fear and shame. And she wept deeply for all three, for herself and the others. And then there was a moment of passage, and then there was a moment of brightness. You are doing deep work, beloveds, and understand that the impact that is happening for you is translating generationally. You chose the families that you were born into with the DNA, not just the physical DNA, beloveds, but the emotional DNA, the spiritual DNA of each and every one of these beings. And understand that you are the place where the buck stops here. You are the one that has said, I am willing to feel what it is that has not been able to be felt within my generations. And as you do this, beloveds, as you allow yourself to feel, you free the entire lineage of what it is that they were never able to allow themselves to experience. That is how important you are. You were chosen to be the one to come and have every single one of these moments of freedom. And for this, we applaud you when we say thank you, beloveds. For you are the healers and the light workers. You do not come upon these videos and these messages and these channelings by happenstance, beloveds. You do not trip and fall into our rooms. You are being directed and guided by your own souls to the very truth of you, beloveds. And for this, we thank you, for you are having a huge impact upon the universe. Every thought that you think makes a difference in the world. So lead, beloveds, with love, with kindness, with forgiveness, and with truth. Know that we are with you always. And should you ever find yourself challenged, beloveds, reach out to us or reach out to a tree. Let the wisdom flow through you, to you, and for you. We love you, and indeed, we will speak with you again. Greetings and salutations, beloved ones. Oh, oh. Thank you all for being here. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.